when Aftermath started, there was the whole rumor that Dre walked away from like 10, 20 million from Suge. But then when we went to Dre, when I first went over there with Mike Lynn, who was his vice president, um, them niggas kicked Michael Jackson out the studio. They booked the whole studio for $1 million for 1 year. And it was wherever, it's not Record One, it was a different studio. It's in the Valley. But yeah, I was like, yo, I never even seen that kind of power. Like, how do you just tell Michael Jackson he can't show up? So I remember just telling everybody, like, he's doing it again. Like, Dre got all these ill niggas. He got these, he had these, we're Butter and Stew, like his under producers, Scott Storch. He just had the ill production camp. Like, his team was crazy. He had dope MCs, and then he had and he had Kanye over there too. Yeah, man. He's got every resource at his fingertips, and especially back then, man. Like, I was extremely excited. He had Rakim over there, like I said. King T had an entire album done by then with some amazing songs that never came out. And the weird thing is, like, I remember telling everybody, and then he had the firm. And I just remember telling everybody how excited I was as a fan about what he was doing. And then I remember buying the album, and it didn't sound the way. It wasn't the songs that I had heard. But then I attribute that to the fact that he's super fucking rich, and he's a genius. He's super rich, and that's sometimes a crazy combination because he'll second guess everything. So it's like he almost is rich with too many talents. Like, so sometimes he'll second guess shit. I always feel like there's gotta be like a fucking, you need a Jimmy Iovine to say put the music out, because he'll if he listens to anything 3 times, he thinks it's old. It's like, nigga, this shit is incredible. The world hasn't heard it. Just put it out. And he doesn't
Right,
do
which
it.
is why Detox never came out. You had the Compton album, which everyone thought was
Yeah. That's the crazy thing. That's why Busta shit took 2 years to come out. Mm-hmm. Eve shit didn't come out. I always say for every one person that comes out on Aftermath, there's like 10 dope ass albums you never heard that are not gonna come out.
Rakim never came out.
Yeah. For one, that 50 record with the gun, like, it's a gauge racking, gung gung,
Yeah.
cat, gung gung, cat. That song was actually Rakim's record.
Yeah, no, I remember me and Rakim talked about that.
Yeah.
He said he had that beat, but he said it was too much drama with all the gun shit and all that, so he passed on.
Yeah, well, it was Rakim's. I remember Dre was gonna put it on, this before 50 come into play. Dre was gonna put it on Truth Hurts intro. I was like, do not put that shit. Do not. I was like, that beat is tremendous. Do not make this a fucking intro, bro. And he was like, you got something for it? And I was like, it ain't for me. I remember saying, like, it's got to be like a Tupac, like a thug nigga. Like, it's got to be a Tupac nigga. And then he signed 50, and then I remember, Fifth played the record. We was all together, like, playing joints one day. And he played it. I was like, he found the right nigga for it. Like, that's a beat that it went to the right person. I'm glad I interceded. I don't know if my opinion counted at all, but I'm glad I at least spoke up on it. Like, that beat got to the right person, because it wasn't a Ras Kass beat. That like Biggie or Pac or 50, it needed one of those kind of guys on that kind of record.
Right. Okay, so you end up dropping a few albums on a major label, but then you get caught up in some label drama with merges and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at your major label experience,
sucks ass. No, I'm just kidding.
Sucks ass.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, because I remember there was a bunch of drama. There was, I remember you spoke out publicly about it a few times and so forth.
Yeah.
And at one point, you ended up just going independent.
Yeah, trying. I mean, I was like kind of flying underneath the radar.
Okay.
Because I was in a lawsuit all that time. I was in a lawsuit from 2002 to 2010 just to get fired. That's what I be telling people. Like, I be trying to tell niggas, like, you're trying to get a record deal, bro? Just imagine trying to get out of one. Like you are doing all this shit and wearing skirts and dresses and being a fucking fuck boy just to get on. Imagine when you on and you realize like nigga, you seen where the odds and you don't want to be on no more. They will string your ass up and turn the water off. So it's an interesting, I've had an interesting journey. One woman wrote in Rolling Stone about my situation. She had wrote like the travesty of what they're doing to Ras Kass. He's one of the most whatever. And then they got mad at me more and tried to fuck my life up more. It was crazy back then.
Okay. So 8 years later, you actually got out.
Yeah, man. That shit took forever.
Okay. And then, I mean, there was a bunch of projects along the way that you were supposed to be, part of. I mean, like you mentioned the Golden State Warriors with Exhibit and Saphir. Then there was the Horsemen project with Corrupt, Cannabis, and Killer Priest, which I guess kind of got released, but not really.
They got leaked or somebody sold it. I don't know. I never blame nobody, but yeah, I mean, some of it came out. Yeah. But it wasn't even mixed. Like somebody had like MP3s and, if they got a couple of dollars out of it, good for them. But it was nowhere close to what the vision was sonically and having records mixed. But yeah, it got leaked.